Hey, coaches, Coach E here. In today's show, I'll be taking a look at how to use the swirl concept in 8-man. Like always, I'll walk through the route combos from a couple spread looks. First, I want to break down the swirl concept. So, swirl is a snag variation, all right, because you have a flat route, you have a corner route. In this case, the H isn't running a true corner. He's going to sell corner and then break it off and sit down in the opening. And then you would have a snag route from the Z running the snag, but in this case, he's running a cross. So that's why it's a variation of snag, because you have a couple different variations from the true snag concept. All right. So the biggest or most specific change is the number 2 receiver breaking off that true corner route into the swirl route, just sitting down in the open area. All right. So with all that said, this is a great counterplay to running snag. So if you're a coach who likes to run snag or even variations of smash, please check this out. Think about potentially adding this to your playbook. All right, so now let me switch over to the huddle playbook and let's take a look at running the swirl concept from an empty bunch. All right, so here we go. We've got an empty bunch look here on offense. Defensively, we're in a 3-2 look. So let's get into it here. So, and I'll try to walk through each step. So the T here is going to run the crossing route. All right, so he's going to get vertical, get down the middle. Overall, what his job is to do, other than getting open on and running the route correctly and efficiently and getting open, is to occupy this middle safety. All right, this is cover 3 zone we're talking about. He's got to keep the middle safety in the middle of the field, keep him occupied. All right, so that's his job here in this case. If we're trying to open up the swirl, that's what he's got to do. All right, next, I'm going to skip the 2 and I'll come back to him. Next, we have the F on the flat route. All right. The only thing here for him, other than once again running his route correctly and getting open and running his route hard, is he's going to occupy the linebacker or whoever the flat defender is. In this case, the linebacker, who is flexed out of the 3-2 out here, sitting over top to make it 3-on-3. All right. So he's got to occupy that guy. So after that's said and done, now we have the true swirl route. So the Y is going to run about 5 to 6 yards before he breaks off his corner route, breaks on his corner route. And what that is going to do is him pushing vertical and really selling the corner. That's going to drive the corner into his third. And he's got to backpedal and stay over top of this corner. Otherwise, he's going to get shredded on a corner out to the end zone. Then the Y is going to break it off and sit down right there. All right. So there's that wide open area sitting down in the swirl. All right. And finally, on the backside, I didn't get to that, but you could do just like we had in the play art before. You could run an out route. Or if you really wanted to run and hit the crossing route, you could have him run a post or have him run a seam. Especially if it's a team where they have 3 over here and they start to man up on the backside one-on-one. Because if that's the case and he comes over and he's manned up on the seam or the post, who's going to be open? Your crossing route's going to be open. All right. And so that's potential play to do or a route to run there. I would probably put him just on an out route and pre-snap that with an out route right there. If he's inside, probably pre-snap throw it. In this case, our progression would be post-snap, cross, swirl to flat. All right, pre-snap in the X. So anyway, so there you go. There's a short summary of running the swirl out of an empty bunch. So like I said, the flat is to hold the flat defender. The cross is to hold the middle safety. And then you have to run, when you're running the swirl, you have to push them vertical and really sell corner before you break it off. Otherwise, you're not going to bait the corner into staying over top. He's just going to play it normally. He's going to know it, and it's not going to be open. All right. So there's a look at it from an empty bunch. Let me switch over. Well, I already have it drawn up there. Whoops. From a twins, but let me back it up a little. So here we go. Now we once again have a 3-2 look out of a twin set. All right. The X is going to run the cross this time. F is running the swirl. T is running the flat. There's the flat. Now the F is going to push vertical, sell the corner, and break it off. Once again, if they're running a cover 3, this guy's going to be basically manned up on the backside in his third. He might even potentially take away the cross, but that's going to hold the middle safety again in the middle. Linebacker's got to get to the flat. All right, that's a long ways to go. If this guy pushes him vertical and the corner stays over top, say he does stay right on him, he's not open. Now is when we said our third progression to the flat, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to hit the flat because that's a long throw or a long route for the linebacker to cover. All right. So there you go. There's just a summary and a look at running swirl here out of a couple formations there. So now what I want to do is finish off with showing you how Alabama ran this exact play last year. So here is Alabama running it against Auburn. I forget when this was, towards the end of the season, I believe. Yeah, you can see. Okay, they were 10-1, Auburn 6-5. Yeah, it was towards the end of the season. And early on here in overtime, low scoring affair, they started with this swirl play. So as you can see in the play, the number one receiver runs the cross. All right. The number two receiver, number 18 there, who's on the line of scrimmage, he's the one that sells the corner, pushes number one off just enough to break down and sit down in that open spot in the swirl, catch the touchdown pass right there. And then the number three receiver in the wing spot releases a little late, but he runs the flat route. All right. And then overall, though, like I said, number two is the one really selling this play and running it the right way. And then he receives the ball on the money. Great throw. Good protection there on a 4 or 5 man rush. And then he sold the safety number one just enough to give him an opening there in that spot. And since Bama ran snag earlier in the game, this play was set up perfectly. Had the defense fooled, thinking it was coming again here. And then they get an easy touchdown. All right. So that's another reason why I say if you're a snag guy, think about running this play, because having concepts that build off each other, to me, obviously is a huge thing, because you can sell it and make it look like one play, and it's not a play. It's a different concept, and your kids know it, but it's not much different. It's an easy way to tweak a similar play, and you can really fool the defense and get some good results out of it. So there's a look at how Bama used swirl last season right there. I'm sure they'll do different plays and situations and stuff like that again this year. I'm kind of excited to see what Bryce Young does as a sophomore coming back after winning the Heisman this last year. So that'll be interesting to see. But anyways, you guys, that is going to wrap up today's episode of the Swirl Concept in 8-Man. Remember, if you guys have any questions for me, please be sure to comment your question on this video. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything new, please click the subscribe button here. Also, check out my previous videos here, right here on the screen linked. Remember, it is all free. All right. And like always, you guys, thanks again for watching.